Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our
Our new
podcast,
show,
The Garage. We have a new show. It's called
Mike and Mike.
right. So tonight we have a special guest with us, right? Justin. Justin is a longtime friend of mine. And tonight we're gonna discuss. What are we discussing tonight?
We're discussing the tariffs, what the government, U.S. government, we're discussing the tariffs, what the U.S. government hit today in Canada,
Geopolitical challenges.
and
Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is a new show.
yes, again, fans, this is a new show we started called Mike and Mike, along with the Garage. We're on the same main channel, but this is an independent show under that channel. So please share and subscribe. It doesn't have a different link. It's the same link at the Garage Studios. Please share and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Yes. So tonight we have what? Something special taking place.
Well, we have
The
the
president-
speech coming up at 9 o'clock,
Yeah,
which
the
is
State
10
of
minutes
the
from now.
Union.
Oh, they're doing the State of the Union.
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have to catch it later because I can't. I've never been this so entertained in politics in my life.
Yeah, right.
So you got to watch every minute.
I
You never
mean,
know what's gonna come out that man's
We have
mouth.
a real entertainer as the president, so why not?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, so Justin here, he's a Democrat.
Yes.
He's a Democrat, right?
Registered Democrat
Reg-
since January 6, 1998. That's my actual birthday.
but he's a fan of the current administration or the current president, sitting
Yes.
president,
What
which is Donald
current
Trump.
administration?
Right,
I like his team. I like his team. I'm not gonna lie.
So what do you like about Trump? Explain that. Like,
Well,
how
to
does
be
that
honest-
work? You're a Democrat, but support
Well,
Trump.
initially, remember when he was president the first time, I wasn't with it. That was actually the first time because when it was him versus Hillary, I never trusted Hillary. I thought he was a joke, so I was like, I didn't vote. But what I noticed the first time around, I didn't like him because I felt that it created a lot of racial division. I felt that a lot of the clear people were very bold. Even though I look clear, I am not clear. Right? I am not a Caucasian. So I felt that they were very bold in like their rhetoric, certain things, dude, you can still get smacked in your mouth, you know what I mean? But that wasn't so. But as time went on, during the 2020 election, I was okay. We need to get him out of here. He caused way too much racial tension, I should say, not division.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let's see what Biden's gonna do. And then what turned me off about Biden, what really pissed me off, I felt he was played when he says, "You ain't black if you don't vote for me." That right there, he lost my vote. I was like, you know what? I'm not voting again. I didn't vote again. And then we went through whatever nonsense we went through in the last 4 years. And then what started happening, my father has always been a Trumpster. Now, my father also registered, well, actually, he was a Democrat, then he became a registered Republican. But I think he just did that to mess with people. Like my dad likes to troll people. So what it is, mind you, my father's Vietnam era veteran. My dad knows his stuff. Some people may think that he's crazy, but my dad knows his policies. He doesn't necessarily, like we were talking before, my father knows how to be objective, not subjective, which a lot of people have this time around. A lot of people have that problem. So I'm listening to certain things. They were accusing him. It's like, remember the whole Charlottesville thing? That they were saying that it was debunked. So there was that. Then there was another thing that they were accusing him of, that they said that he lied. You kind of find out he told the truth. Then there was another thing that they said that he lied. You kind of find out he told the truth.
What were we speaking about? Your dad or
No,
Trump?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
It was certain things. It was like 3 things I got. This I was like, wait a minute. Now I had to look back. I'm still leery because, like I said, I'm from New York. I grew up. If you're from New York, you know who Donald Trump is. He was always in the front paper.
Criminal. And,
Always in the front paper. I know him from The Apprentice. He amuses me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he's a criminal. I say he's a gangster. There's a difference.
Yeah, criminal gangster.
All right, so he amuses me, but then as time went on, I'm listening to more and more things, and I see what's happening to my party, which I'm still a Democrat. I did not leave. I did not jump ship.
Oh,
The reason why I stay a Democrat is because my party has completely lost their goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Right? They are. I feel They're pushing a big, communist Marxist ideology. I don't agree with that. Okay, I'm very much a businessman. I'm very much an entrepreneur. I'm very much a free market. I didn't agree with a lot of things that they were saying. I didn't like the virtue signaling. I didn't like the identity politics. I didn't like the fact that me being a man, a heterosexual man, is a problem. I don't like that. You understand? I don't judge anybody. I don't whatever people want to do, but do not push your agenda on me. Or if I don't agree with something, that doesn't necessarily make me, what is it, transphobic or homophobic or something like that.
Right.
That's far from that.
Right.
So this is what this, and then as time went on, and then when this election started happening, I'm like, all right, I like, on top of that, I'm not gonna lie, his debates, Trump's debates, they entertain me. Like, I've never been so entertained with the stuff that comes out of his mouth.
Entertaining in what? Positive or negative way?
I want to say, I guess.
I would say in a positive way.
Yeah, of course you're gonna be saying a positive way.
Yeah, well,
of course.
it's. I want to say it's half and half because I'm entertained, but that doesn't necessarily give me reason. So
No
because he never
justification.
discussed no policies, but
Precisely.
his clapbacks are crazy, and what it is, I'm slick with the mouth. So that's why his clapbacks were insane. Like the one debate with him and Biden, where he's like, "I don't understand what he just said. I don't even think he understood what he just said." Like shit like that makes me laugh.
I think I need you on the show.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying, but like things like that make me laugh.
Yeah.
Or like when he called what's her name? What was Shorty? The one that he paid off, the sex worker.
Oh, Stormy
When he
McDaniels,
called
yeah.
her horse face, I was like, oh, this man is petty. And I'm God level petty. So, so I guess it's for bad reasons. But then also I started noticing within my own party, what kind of rhetoric are you trying to push? That's what was really bothering me. Like my party, our party, because you're a Democrat.
Yes,
right?
yes, fully,
Our party,
1000%.
We're supposed to be tolerant. But when I started telling my other friends that, yeah, I think I'm supporting Trump. I kind of like some of his views. I like the fact that he's no nonsense. Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm getting called names. See, nobody dare call me racist. They see my woman, they know I ain't racist. You understand what I'm saying? You're around me. You go to the neighborhoods I hang out in. Not free. I hang out in.
Right. If you know, you know, right?
Yeah. If you know, you know exactly.
Right.
So they can't call me that, but they're saying, "Oh, how am I a misogynist?" Women were telling me this. "Oh, you're a misogynist." I'm no more misogynist than you're a misandrist. To where they had to go look that word up. You understand? So that was the case. But then when he started forming his team, I really like what Elon is doing. A lot of we didn't elect Elon. Nobody elected Elon. The president was elected, and he appointed him to do a job. Yeah. Elon is doing his job. Now, people may not agree with it, and mind you, I'm a government worker. Mm-hmm. But I got nothing to worry about. Mike's my boss. He knows. If those were to come into my office, I'm not worried about it.
Newsflash, you guys going to be worrying about something very soon.
Oh, you talking about Department of Commerce?
Very soon.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that can work either good or bad. Now, you have to remember, in order for him to do that, there's going to have to be a lot of magic. Because remember, we've been independent since 1973, the post office. Mm-hmm. We were under the Department of Commerce. So they made them an independent agency, which is a quasi-federal agency. They're basically an independent agency that's owned by the federal government. Now, in order for them to put them back into the Department of Commerce, you're going to have to do some trickery or some magic work with the Constitution.
And that's what Elon is trying to do because they want to have full control over a certain entity within the government. But again, hopefully, you guys won't see the sign.
Yeah.
It's coming.
To be honest, like I said, either way, I'm good either way. If they don't come after us, that's fine because I'm still working. But if they do come after us, if they want to, doge us the way they're doing everybody else, I'm not worried about that neither. But that's me speaking for myself. 80% of the workers in the post office, they might have something to worry about.
What kind of wasteful spending does the post office do, though?
Really? Oh, you got time? All right. What kind of wasteful spending does the post office do? Well, for one, obviously I'm a union dues paying member. Okay? Huh? Yes. Oh,
anyway, let's go back to Donald Trump.
No, but as far as that's what I'm saying. Like going back to him, I was saying that to say that
you left off at Elon, the Department of Government Efficiency.
Department of Government Efficiency, which I'm all for.
I
really
me too.
I really like what they're doing. Yeah. Obviously, it's a little bit. It's a little like my mother was saying. It's too much at once. But to be honest with you, I think it's needed. I think it's needed. Our corporation of the United States, because that's what I refer to the United States as.
A business
of the United States, which it is a business.
Yeah.
Okay. This should have been streamlined a long time ago. Okay. To where we shouldn't have got to $36 trillion in debt. Somebody
30
steal it.
is actually, yeah, I think it's
30,
30.
36
It was
or something like
36.5.
Yeah.
The last time I checked, it was at 32 because we had that same discussion. So it went
was
up.
36.
It was
how much money-
36?
It was
And how much
36.
money did they find in wasteful spending so far? 2.37 trillion. That's just the tip of the iceberg. They haven't hit up DOD. They really haven't gone through the Pentagon. You know what I'm saying? You're still going.
Oh,
through
they're trying to
IRS.
go in. They're going after
Yeah,
the Pentagon.
They're gonna have to. I'm all for the IRS getting shut down. I'm all for
Who
the
wouldn't
IRS
want
getting
it?
shut
I mean,
People, again, I like the IRS. So people of the IRS,
down. Huh?
if you're listening or
no,
watching,
he's
I
capping
like
over
the
there, meaning
That's
that
fine, but I'm a Moorish American national. You can't touch me. I'm not a citizen. I'm a national.
I don't think any businessman or any consumer right now in this country, or maybe worldwide, but let's specifically focus on this country, wouldn't mind the IRS disappear.
No, not at all.
Exactly.
Not at
So
all.
I'm trying to figure. I'm discombobulated with this guy mindset over here. Why he would like the IRS?
Who? Why? He,
me.
Yes.
Right now, they get a tax return.
well, that's why. See, I don't. You know,
Uh,
you do realize it is voluntary to file
Yeah,
taxes.
yeah.
It's voluntary compliance. It's
I mean-
so you don't have to file your taxes. When people talk, oh, just you don't pay your taxes. I pay my taxes. I just take it out my check. But
the
it is voluntary compliance to file your taxes.
the
Remember
double
that.
the
It's in
double whammy
Constitution.
with that though is that even though it's voluntary, if you have penalty charge if you don't file. So it's kind of a contradictional structure.
Rock and
Yes.
hard
Yeah,
place.
between a rock and a hard place. So
you will get
it's
penalized
voluntary,
if you do it.
but if you don't, you would also get fined if you. It's crazy. It doesn't make any
You
sense.
will also get fined if you identify yourself as a U.S. citizen.
Mm.
I don't identify as a U.S. citizen. I identify as a Moorish American.
What do you mean? If you identify as a U.S. citizen filing taxes, or
If you identify
Just in
as,
general.
as a U.S. citizen in general, then basically as a citizen, because basically what people don't understand is that as a citizen is actually a term that means slave. It's just another term for slave. So when you're stating that you're a citizen and you're acknowledging the fact that you're a United States citizen, that means that whatever debt that the corporation of the United States incurs, that is also your debt.
oh, I
This
see
is
what
why
you're
they
saying.
get off the
Okay,
case. This is where the whole voluntary compliance comes into filing taxes. Now I'll pay my taxes. I'll pay my fair share. They take taxes out my check.
right.
But it is voluntary compliance for me. Now they can try to find me, but then this is when you do your studies. I've been doing a lot of studies lately on Moorish history, background, nationality, creeds, things like that. There's a lot of things that this corporation, this country of our corporation, they have been hiding from people that have been born and raised here. There's a lot of things that if people just to educate themselves, just buy the U.S. Constitution and read through it thoroughly. There's a lot. It's not so much loopholes, but there's a lot of rights that they are violating.
Family, friends and family. Even though we would like to see the IRS go, but please file your tax. Please file it on time.
Yes, please file your taxes.
Please
Don't
do
listen to me.
everything by the law.
Yes.
Don't mind us. We just here as discussion.
Yes.
I mean, yes, we would love to see that, but at the same time, that's not reality. So please follow the rules and regulation. And you, as what you said,
I
follow
like
the.
the IRS.
Now I'm all for filing state taxes because state taxes directly affect
yeah,
whatever
the
state
state
that we live
you're
in. I'm
in.
all for that.
Right.
Right.
I'm all
Correct.
for
I
that.
mean,
because
the
that's
taxes
directly affects
when you pay tax, you pay for like public schools,
exactly
public schooling. You pay for
Schooling.
roads,
Correct, right.
roads,
bridges, and all that
sanitation,
stuff.
garbage,
Yeah.
sewage
For the local states. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that
it's
I'm-
important to pay your
yes.
tax.
Yes.
Correct,
Regardless
correct.
of what it was.
It's very
Right.
important to pay your taxes. Like I said, I pay my taxes. I pay my taxes.
Shout out to the
every
IRS. You know?
Shout out to the IRS.
So we're gonna go back to Doge, Department of Doge.
Yes. Department of
What were
Government
you saying?
Efficiency.
Yeah, what were you saying about it?
Well, like I said, I agree with what they're doing. I like what they're doing. Like I said, some people find it a little too harsh. I feel harsh is necessary. Okay, especially the state that we're in, economic wise, it's necessary.
I don't support. One of the things I don't like though with it, I mean, as I said, there's a few things I support.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like it myself, both of them, Elon and Trump.
Yeah.
However, they are structured they are putting in place, which I agree and I support it. Not being biased, like
Yes.
some of us over across the street there, but he's looking. But the fact that is that now they found a lot of waste spending, and I applaud them for going at it like this. But there's a borderline
But
where they
here's a
started.
but.
there's a borderline where they started crossing. Now where are you going? You find you are tampering with the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, the Pentagon. What waste spending you're gonna find in these departments? Now, so far they have discovered a couple millions into billions, where they donating funds to Israel, pertaining is Israel's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some tourism, Egypt.
Yeah.
Then they have in Australia, they have what they call it, homosexual stage play, something of that. So like Broadway.
That sounds like money laundering to me.
Yeah. So I mean, like these things, I'm like,
No, you
what?
heard what he just said?
Sounds like money laundering to me. Somebody steals.
Frauds and wasteful spending.
I'm signing because
We call
all
it
these
wasteful spending 'cause we're being
unnecessary
nice, but
stuff.
it's basically
Yes.
somebody's stealing.
All these unnecessary stuff doesn't make any sense, and then you have people here are still suffering. As wealthy and powerful this country is, you have people still suffering here. The homelessness is skyrocketing in this country.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, and yet we go in and we are trying to police the world, and we are trying to help everyone else. And yes, we are in need of.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
We have to the old saying goes, you can't help anybody if you don't help yourself.
Exactly.
True.
And it's at the point now, getting back to the United States needs to isolate themselves.
So let's make America great
You
again.
have to get. Well, I don't know about great again. I don't think it's ever been great. But
It was
but it
great.
is-
I would
no, it
agree.
was financial wise, from what I understand, the greatest we've ever been was from 1870 to 1913 when there were tariffs. And
Correct,
and
correct.
We were not in debt. Now, obviously, from 1870 to 1913, we also had slavery, and they were using slaves as bonds. That's how Bank of America and a couple of other big corporations got stated. But that's for a whole other episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, from a financial standpoint, that's the only time that we were not in debt.
Right.
The country, the corporation, I should say, the United States. Well, actually, no, we were a country, and then in 1913, was it 19? Yeah, 1910, we got sold. The United States was sold, and then that's when they became the corporation. The United States Corporation. We got sold to foreign entities. Basically.
So today, I'm not sure if you had check it out where the respond what Canada gave to Trump and was specifically talking to him. He spoke to and fellas, I'm gonna put it up on the screen, and you guys, I will play it for a second, and you guys take a look at it and listen to it, and just
Tariff for tariff.
the tariff for tariff, and share what you
I
said.
just said, we are the biggest consumers. So we're Mexico is concerned in Canada, right?
Yes. Charge them what, 25% tariff?
Yeah.
And then added extra 10% tariff to China.
Which raised that to what, 20%? It was
I think
10% first, and
Was it? I thought it was 25%, and he raised it another 10%.
No, it was 10% for China.
And then he raised it, so now it's 20% tariff.
Right.
I'm like, I still feel the negotiation tactics we should bring.
On which one, Mexico?
No, it's a negotiation
for-
tactic on Trump's part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Trump is a deal maker.
Oh, big
So,
time.
As I was saying, right? So Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 85% of their export we consume here in the US.
Which is about what they say, about 19% of their GDP or something like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Both Canada and Mexico.
Mexico's 37% of their GDP, the stuff that they export into the United States.
So who's really losing?
Exactly.
Like we don't have to ship anything to Canada.
The funniest thing is that if you're watching the news and you see what's going on, there's hell coming because the Department of Energy down in Canada also, they cutting our power.
Yeah.
If you're not realizing,
Well,
because
we buy our energy from Canada.
correct.
Yeah.
So you just looking on this one side, these guys are not attacking to the left, to the right, to every angle around the circle. So we are going to face it. We may withstand it for now. Just what the president, the prime minister said earlier on today. Again, when we will have some plays for the clips what we will show later on.
But you do realize we buy raw energy off them. We still have to refine it. They don't refine their own energy.
They don't, but we're still getting the raw energy. So if they cut that, what we're going to do? This is the problem, what we're going to face. And just as he said before, both part is not a win-win situation in here. It's not gonna, but at the same time, you and I are going to suffer. How long? Yes, the U.S. maybe can withstand a little bit more than Canada at the same time, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we will start eventually falling
Why?
It's going to be rough and tumble.
because of what we need from Canada and any other country.
What? Lumber and energy, crude oil.
Again, of course.
So
What are you
we
talking about?
Produce that too.
Well, you know, you
crude
do
oil.
We don't produce enough to sustain ourselves, and that's the
Well,
problem.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out when.
You know what the loophole is around that, right? The loophole. Remember the whole thing where people were saying, "Oh, he's trolling, trying to make us mad that he wants to change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America."
He tried to do that,
But
and
do
he
you
had
know
to
why? Do you know why he wants to do that?
why you want to
That's
do
a loophole.
loophole for
Because
what?
when you change the name to Gulf of America, that oversees whatever NAFTA agreement that we had.
Mhm.
Now we're able to drill in our country because it's called the Gulf of America. Because why? Because we're part of it.
Oh yeah. They were talking about.
That's
Man,
when
I
he
can't.
talked.
They were
Remember
talking
when he
about
talked at his
yes.
inauguration, drill, baby,
Yeah.
drill. That's where that all comes from.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that I'm kind of worried about because I have no idea exactly how much natural resources the United States have. They've never told us the truth. I'm like, I hear one thing that we don't have a lot, but then I hear that there really isn't a shortage of natural resources. They're just saying that to tack on, obviously to squeeze more money out of us.
Mm.
The same principle now where they're saying, that's why eggs are $12 a dozen, but for some reason I don't see a shortage of chickens. But they're charging us more money for eggs.
Well, the chicken.
Right, so they just sorry. So not to leave off energy, right? So they just discovered that Venezuela is sitting on the largest oil reserve.
Oil reserve.
Oh, that's been on the Lake Maracaibo.
Right.
Why do you think the whole thing was why do you think when what's his name initially took over, the one that died? Remember, my mother's Venezuelan, so we keep up with this. When that dude, the one that took over, that became like a second Cuba.
Maduro or something like that.
Maduro's the first. Maduro's the one, Chavez. And then Maduro took over.
Yeah.
When Chavez initially took
died,
over,
right?
yeah. When Chavez initially took over, that's why he did that, because you got to remember that big oil reserve under Maracaibo, that was a U.S. interest that belonged to us.
It still is. No,
Yeah.
we have an agreement. Like the government of Venezuela is what, president or prime minister?
Well, he's the president. He's the president.
So
they got presidents.
both presidents just had an agreement where we will provide them with the equipment to harness that oil.
Yeah, that's the biggest oil reserve in the world on the Lake Maracaibo.
So
that's always been
there's like a strategic plan behind this.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna put 25% tariff fee on Canada, we have a plan. We're not that stupid.
Okay, so yes, you may have a plan. With that plan, it would go through when the possibility that plan can fall apart. Now, again, we as what even and I wish you had watched this the CNN clip, but
CNN is biased, man. We don't watch.
We can't say that. I mean, I've seen the network go on 2 and 4.
Can't say that.
I mean,
there's only one man that makes sense on CNN.
And who's that?
Scott Jennings.
Scott Jennings. I like Scott Jennings. I mean, he's unbiased.
Reason on CNN.
And I mean, which network is not biased? Come on, really?
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
I mean, the garage, the garage ain't biased.
The garage is not biased.
I'll tell you the network that's not biased: Instagram and TikTok and Reddit. Those three are not biased. I'm like, you still got to sift through a lot of garbage and then still figure out, what.
So what angle you're coming from? Why they're not biased?
Because they show both sides. You got to remember, everything runs on algorithms with them, with Instagram, TikTok, Reddit. Look, most of my information I get from Instagram, but then what it is that I got.
What about X?
Algorithm. Huh?
What about X?
I mean,
Twitter.
See, the thing with X, I feel X, I'm like, even though I like what he did, what it is, I feel X got a little too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like ever since Elon took over X, well, Twitter, I should say. Ever since he took over Twitter, named it the X, they got a little too crazy for me. They're a little too extreme.
I mean, that's free speech there.
It's definitely free speech, but I think that's free speech abused. Like, because you still got to have some sort of decorum. You know what I'm saying? You still got to have some sort of class, some sort of, you still got to speak.
I think some of the most intelligent people converse or communicate on X though. Because when you go to Instagram, it's what you're just looking at photos and videos.
Photos are little videos and all that
stuff.
stuff.
I'm plugged in. I'm not gonna lie. Since I started like really getting into the politics side,
on X,
I'll get a lot of like different into my algorithm, like different. Only thing that kind of bothers me, a lot of my stuff that I get a lot of right wing stuff. I'm like, wait, I'm not a conservative.
Yeah.
So I gotta like, you know, I gotta mix it up, things like that. So I'm able to get, because what it is, I can't just get one side, because that's how you get.
Yeah, that's how the algorithm works, though.
Yeah.
You know,
So
whatever
you gotta keep messing with it.
whatever your interests are,
Yeah.
it pulls more to that, sends that to you.
Yeah. So I try to listen, even though it's been very hard for me to actually agree with anybody on the left. I'm like, unless there's somebody like, basically the way I say I'm a true Democrat. The last real Democrat president we had was John F. Kennedy.
It's a long
You know what I'm
time
saying?
ago.
That's a long time.
So
Last-
did you vote it for Trump? Did you vote for Trump?
Can you believe they didn't let me vote?
No, you can't. You can't switch party. If you already registered, so for instance, Democrat,
yeah.
and you try to go and vote for the
You would
Republican,
have to re-register.
you have to re-register.
No, but they didn't let me vote because check this out. And mind you, they weren't asking nobody for IDs. I don't have a state ID. I have a passport because I got rid of my license. I have a passport. I went to my school in my neighborhood where they have. I showed them. I said, "Here you go. I don't have a license." Oh, we can't use that. What do you mean? There's like, oh, it doesn't have your address.
I mean, it's
said,
a
I
form
live
of
right
ID.
here. Yeah, it's a government issued ID. You weren't asking anybody for
but
it.
technically, their passport is not showing you exactly where you reside. So
Yeah.
that's one of the concern because
I
what
brought
they
my
want
pay
is
stub that showed where I live at.
yeah, but the pay stub could be anything. So you have to understand from
mean
their
it could be
perspective.
anything?
It could be anything. I mean, for instance, yes, your name may be correlating with your passport, but that still could be made up. I guess even the same driver's license, yes, it can probably be made up, but they're more lenient towards that type of ID because yes, it still can be made up, but they're more have a little bit more confident in that ID to believe you that yes, you live down here, this is you as such and such and such. I think that's basically how they're going.
No, it kills me because they weren't even asking for ID in New York State. There was a lot of places they wasn't even asking for ID.
For pertaining to voting?
Yeah, because they were trying to stack the deck. So then what it is, look, mind you,
True
I
or
tried to go
false?
twice.
True.
I can't say.
I tried to go twice.
I
did
can't
it
say.
for early registration, and I wrote my pay stub, I wrote my passport because I knew they were going to ask for that. I said, "Here you go." They're like, "Oh no." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "This is where I live at. This is me. You can see in my register because obviously I've always voted. I think
It's
the only times
okay.
they weren't allowed.
Yeah.
And then I tried it again the night before on, because remember the last minute
Right.
before. They didn't let me again. I walked out. I said, he's going to win anyway. And I walked off.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but hey,
And
we
you
have
were right.
we have 4 years to deal with the mess and our revelation. And I'm hoping that the funniest thing is that even with all of this, there was this lady, she got laid off and she voted for Trump and now she's crying. A lot of more that is coming. And the sad part is that my black behind is going to be a part of it, but I'm glad for it because at the end of the day, you guys have opportunity because of funds.
What don't you understand about what the current administration is doing? What
It's
don't
not
you
the point
understand?
of I don't understand. As I share with you with our main show, and even on now, there are things what I agree with them, what they are doing. Infrastructure revamping and stuff like that. There are certain things they are doing. I applaud them
So
for
what are
it.
you not agreeing with?
The green is how the tactics what they are applying and how they are also removing other departments. That's been, for instance, you have DEI, right?
Yes, which I always thought was nonsense anyway.
Which is
it doesn't
in some
benefit us.
cases, but it's applying
It
for
doesn't. It
people.
benefits white women.
But people have different opinion, but it geared
Not
towards
opinion. It's
it
not
geared
opinion, it's
towards
facts.
people helping kids worldwide. People who are suffering, people who cannot provide vaccine, they need medicine and stuff like that. This is what these programs are, and this is what these people overseas are doing. So yes, it may be a mixture of stuff, but it's like you're taking out the bad. And then you're trying to take out the bad, but how they're doing it, they're taking out the bad and they're ripping everything out, which also destroying the good.
Yeah.
Now,
But
again,
isn't that a casualty of war?
I mean,
I mean, you really got to think of it that way.
I mean, yes, but
We're in harsh times. Don't
I
get me
think
wrong.
they can find a different structure and a different tactics how to rip out the bad piece. Just like they have this thing. I'm not want to go in there, but I'm just gonna make that that statement where the wheat and the tear should grow. You know, one of them are bad.
That's what I was just gonna say. You know,
Right. But again, at the same time, they're gonna reach to a point where they're gonna take out the bad weed.
yeah.
But the good weed is gonna be there. And that's what they need to do instead of revamping the entire unit by destroying it completely, by hurting other people. Those are the things I don't agree with.
I mean, some people are gonna get hurt. You know, some people. Are
Yes,
gonna,
he's gonna, and some of the
it's-
things can be avoided.
like what?
No, but if you think of it, can they look with the state that we're in right now, economically?
Mhm.
Can they be avoided? So the state of 36 trillion, not billion, $36 trillion in debt.
How much money is that?
Basically, I
How much
can't
zero
even
is
count.
that?
I can't even
What?
count. $36 trillion in debt. Basically, anything that has to be done drastically. There is no more room to do things. What's the word I'm looking for? To where we can find some sort of middle ground or accord. That can't happen.
I agree with you to a certain extent that at the same time they're gonna have to get hardcore, but this is not gonna be resolved, and it's an avenue where I have to go to provide you some information why I'm saying it's not gonna go. That's a different time for a different show. We really dealing with this political issue where we
Yes.
sure, but at the same time, you know, it's not gonna get any better. As hardcore they're gonna be, as hardcore they can be and try to be at the end of the day, it's not gonna get better. The economy is I mean, right now, based on what some of specialists, even Greenspan and my boy, what's his name there? When he come, the rich guy there, when he come back to me, saying that the
Elon?
possible no, not
Not Elon.
You said the rich guy.
he's not only the rich guy. I mean, I didn't say that one of the richest guys.
Who, Bezos, Gates?
No. Buffett.
Buffett.
Buffett
Warren
also mentioned that, and he and Greenspan mentioned that based on what this knucklehead is doing or what the entourage is
Who
doing.
do you refer to when you?
You want me to say it clearly?
Yeah.
Elon
Is
and
it-
your Trump. Knuckleheads.
I mean, Elon is one of the smartest guys on
Yeah,
earth.
smart.
He is the
I am
smartest
The
not.
guy.
guy is making reusable rockets.
You seen his stock? Because of the foolishness,
No,
what
listen,
people. Okay.
The stock doesn't reflect the.
It's intelligence. I agree. I agree. It's kind of irrelevant, but there was a point I was going to make. I cannot get brain freeze for that. But I'll come back to that. At the end of the day, the thing is, I am not disagreeing with their structure, how they're trying to help this 36 trillion.
yes,
you
you
feel-
are.
But
Cause
No, no,
they're
I'm
being-
not-
You
You
went
feel
as
they're
far as to-
drastic. You feel they're too drastic in their
It's
movements.
drastic, the tactfulness, how they do it, right? The drasticness still has to be there to a certain extent,
right.
but the tactfulness, how they do it. For instance, the tactfulness in there's departments, like for instance, since when you ever heard in history, you ever heard anyone, any governmental head to that capacity requiring the FBI, the CIA, the State Department, asking them that if you don't report and tell me what you did last week, if you were running down the block or running up the block, if you don't do that, you're fired.
But doesn't every private corporation does that?
Yes, but I said this is why you have Mike, right?
Okay.
He manages over where you as a,
Yes.
exactly. This is what it. No, when last you ever heard the president asking your boss or all your boss to say, listen,
The president doesn't ask me directly though, but whoever is beneath the president, like
whoever is govern the department,
yes,
they ask you
Yeah,
directly.
well, they don't ask me. It's like a chain of command. So you would say, hey, Justin, ask Mike. Mike asks the masses, and so forth. That's how it works.
There's an order
But
of process. We agree on that.
So I was sharing the story with him about the new boss that we have, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Mr. 100 emails by 8 a.m. Yes.
100? I
100?
said
I thought
300.
it
No,
was
I'm
three.
saying
Oh,
100
100 by...
100
Okay.
emails
8
per supervisor, and he's watching over 12 supervisors by 8 a.m. This man does not sleep.
8 a.m.
I don't know how you
And
guys.
for some reason, he keeps changing his profile picture on his email, but that's another story.
But anyway, right? So it's similar. It is similar. And his style of management, I like it. I don't agree with it, but I like it because I understand him, right?
He's very
It's
cut
a-
and dry. He's
right,
very cut and dry.
Right. So it's something. It's similar.
But remember,
We're used to it.
I share with you. I said based on his structure, I'm not there, I don't work there
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So based on what Mike shared with me, I said I probably would like it to, be annoying, because even Mike used that term, it may be annoying, but guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna make his life better. That makes his life to make your life better. And your life is gonna
Not always, because what he wants us to do is discipline everyone for everything.
Yeah, you can't do that.
There's
You can't
no
do that.
room for error.
Yeah.
so
there really
there's
is.
so there's no
And this is similar to that.
Yeah.
This is similar to that.
no, you can't compare what
Yes, it
Elon
is.
is doing
Yes, it
pertaining to
is.
what your boss is doing. The boss is restructuring based on all right. So let me put it this
I
way.
think he's more extreme than Elon.
Well,
But
you guys,
it's funny, Elon's just doing the job. All he's doing is following orders.
no, Elon is a secondary dictator, just like Trump himself.
Don't say that. Don't say
That's-
that.
that's-
Don't.
Elon is making
Being
moves.
subjective, not objective.
Yeah.
Elon
you
is
are.
making move to benefit his pocket.
And what's wrong with that? He's a businessman.
He's a businessman, and this is why I said before: you do not need businessmen to run this country.
This
or lead
country
this
is
country.
a
Exactly.
business.
No, you don't.
This
You don't,
country is a
because
business.
it's going to be a conflict of interest. They're going to want to do things for themselves. A real politician, they go for the people. They don't create that illusion that
When's the
oh,
last time we had that?
I mean, it's a while.
Right.
But I'm saying this is what we need to find. But at the same time, we don't need businessmen to run this country, because a businessman is going to focus on him
But you
or
do-
her,
Well, no, that's where you have checks and balances. You have them keep it.
and
in
that's
check.
not working.
Well, not right now. But remember, we've only had this administration for 2 months. This is just the beginning. But look at
And so while we're going to the headache, we're going through. So that's just 2 months.
It's going to be rough. And tough.
Yeah, sometimes you need to
it's-
slam
it's
your
necessary.
feet on the brake.
You do realize you do realize
It's-
how the presidencies was initially when to have a president and cabinet, it was initially set up for businessmen. Say if you were a titan of industry, you ran GM, okay, you run it very well, okay. The White House would tap you because they see how efficiently you run GM. You know, we want you to run for president for 4 years, go do this, take a step down, and then come down, then come back in. That's initially what a president's supposed to do. We're not supposed to have career politicians. Joe Biden has been a career. He's never had a real job in his life.
Forever.
To be a
Well,
politician
he's-
is not a real job. Look, what's her name? I cannot stand this woman. Maybe
Who
you're a
that?
fan of her.
Nancy
I cannot stand
Pelosi?
her. No, I can't stand Pelosi. The, other, the new one. What's the new one that they're propping up? She's so full of shit. Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, okay. What about her?
She's nonsense. See, that's a career politician. And mind you, she was an attorney beforehand.
Most of these guys are attorney. I mean,
Yeah, but what it is, they're attorneys, but they never practice law. They might have practiced law for years.
They're just
but then
getting
all of
that
a sudden they go
paperwork.
in Politics. And then what it is, the only laws you really have in politics are lobbyists. But what do lobbyists do all day? They pay people off. That's all they do. They're pushing something. They're paying people off to push their issue.
we haven't had
So I
it in
feel
a
we
while.
need businessmen because businessmen are very, very cut and dry. Now, do you need some? I'm sorry. Now, business. Now, do you need a bit? Now, do you need like basically some sort of committee to oversee those businessmen to make sure there is no conflict of interest? Of course, but we haven't got to that point.
We haven't reached that point, and we
Yeah.
haven't been to that point in a long time.
Yeah.
But I still support that we don't need businessmen to run this country, because there's going to be too much conflict. Remember, the businessman is going to
We
be
are a
looking out
business.
for
This is a
himself,
country. This
which
is a
I don't
corporation.
mind. I don't mind, because if I was in business,
Mm-hmm.
I am in business, for myself. At the end of the day, I want to look out for myself, at the end of the day. But I am going to be, to a certain extent, biased, because I'm one to look out for me. I don't give a rat's behind about Joe or Dick or whatever. I want to look out for Mike.
Yeah.
Mike is going to look out for that. Maybe when Mike is reached to a certain extent now where Mike is good, then I'll probably start thinking about you guys. But other than that, and this is the structure what is in place. Because the
So
businessman,
what
as
you're
I said,
saying is that
I mean,
Elon
that's
and-
trickle
and
down.
Trump is
That's trickle
operating
down
the same?
economics. That's how things have always worked.
it's not always, but I mean, for the last couple, close to half a century, that's how it's been working.
Yeah,
And I mean, it needs to change.
Half a
But
century, that's always.
that's 50 years. That's a long time. I mean, look, let's put it this way: the last time we had a Republican president before 2016, before that was 2004. So basically, since 2000, in the last 24 years, 16 years of that was under Democratic rule, and look where we're at now. We are not good.
no, we're not.
We're not.
No, we're not. Maybe Mike have some solution where you can. I mean, so
I
moving.
voted for the solution.
Well,
This new administration.
okay, so from your perspective of what's going on right now, we see the trade-off. And okay, let's think on a wide scale and a worst case scenario. Now, let's say hypothetically that what is it, with the greatest oil reserve now, country there,
Venezuela,
right?
Yeah.
So let's say that this not successfully, right? Now you have war where you're starting with your neighbor, a trade-off war, right? Where you start with a neighbor. How long do you think the economy, as what we kind of giving a little glimpse at right now, how long you think, just by them wording it, by them coming out and speaking that this is what we're going to do, we're seeing the market tumble. We are seeing prices, inflation are still started
what
creeping.
market tumble?
Yeah.
The stock market?
Of course.
I mean, that's just a pullback. That's not even a correction. 10% is a correction.
I mean, things
the
are...
market did not pull back 10%.
Listen, this is just a glimpse of what more coming because, again, based on Trump edict, he's not going to pull back. He's not going to back down.
This is not.
These guys are not going to back down either.
This is not the first time Donald Trump been president. This is actually
it's the second term, right?
So this is normal for Donald Trump to
And
go
I'm
to a
glad you
press
brought it up.
conference and say something and the market just drop, boom, 1%. It's
I
normal.
think the first time he didn't know what he was doing. I think this time.
And
around, he knows
this
he's
is what I
doing.
was going to bring up. You are in power the last time. You
Yeah.
from 2016 to
which got
2020.
interrupted by COVID.
No, COVID came in
It
when he
came
was
right during
when
that-
he was
it
supposed
came
to
in
leave.
right in that election
Exactly
year,
when
yeah.
he's supposed to leave. He didn't do anything. He had all 3 years and change to do all what he needs to do. All of this stuff what he's doing now, as what you said, maybe he's a learning curve for him now.
Yeah.
He get understanding. He talked to some
Yeah.
people, but at the end of the day, why you didn't implement these things back when you were president?
Because he got the wrong people around him.
It's not even the wrong
right.
people. He can make, if he had knowledge, let's say he's probably was ignorant at the time.
Yeah.
He couldn't implement because he didn't know. People maybe not suggesting it because it's a bad deal. Right now, you know that what he's doing, half his party, if not more, this was broadcast today. Half his party, including Republican and Democrat, don't like what he's doing pertaining to Canada,
Not
pertaining
true.
to the.
Not true.
I think he live on a
don't like-
rock. They
Wait,
don't
they
like
don't
what
like what he's
they're
doing?
pulling out. A lot of, I mean, I wish we could have watched the State of the Union because you will identify and see exactly what these guys. And this
But
is
what-
one of
what
the
is
things
their
they
reason for not
plan.
liking it though.
I mean, because we as a consumer are gonna feel the pain. The
So
issues.
I'm not gonna feel the pain. You know why? Because once that happens, I'll buy American made. Even if it's of a lesser quality, I'll buy American made just to prove
All
a
right.
point.
So let me give you some facts, right?
All right.
So TSMC, right?
Okay.
Which is the biggest chip manufacturing company in the world, right?
Mhm.
Everything runs on chip,
Yes,
microchips.
exactly.
Phone, cars, computers, you name it.
And I'm assuming they're
microchips,
based out of
right.
China.
All right. So TSMC is located in Taiwan. It's called Taiwan Semiconductor.
Mhm.
They just invested 168 billion to open 5 new factory in the US.
Which is gonna bring more jobs.
There you go.
Mhm.
So by doing that, they avoid paying that 25% tariff fee.
Yeah. And to be honest, that tariff thing, that's all a negotiation tactic to bring everything
So
into
is
the
that
Apple
confirmed?
also
500 billion.
Apple also they were gonna build a factory in
Texas.
Mexico.
Who?
No,
No,
Mexico.
Apple?
they were going to build, but now they're going to
Yeah.
build it in Texas.
Texas
And they
instead.
invested $500 billion.
So
Who, Apple?
when they do
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, they were
avoid-
trying to do that.
They avoid that tariff fee. That tariff fee. So what
But-
he's trying to do is bring these business here to America. So you create more jobs here in America, right? Put people to work. And in return, you have more people paying tax, more money going to the US Treasury.
Mhm.
Then you could cut tax. Me and you don't have to pay the amount we pay in tax.
That
tariff
sounds,
we take
yeah,
care
I
of
mean, that sounds good and
It's all
dainty.
business. You
but-
keep saying America is not a business, but it's a business.
We're a
I
corporation.
I mean, it's falling between the debt trap, and I use the term the debt trap, meaning that it's not a business and it's not a corporation. It's just, I don't know. I can't find the vocabulary to label it
What
as.
is a country?
I mean, obviously it's a country,
We're
but I'm trying to find the appropriate labeling for it, because I'm not gonna say it's a business. I mean, it's
No,
just
we're not
like
a business. We're a corporation.
our corporation. I mean, we're running like a corporation,
We've always been one.
but
We've
it
been
doesn't
one
mean
since 1910.
it's not the fact that we are, even though we are running like a corporation, we are a corporation. I mean, it's
There's a method
listen,
to the madness.
the method.
And as I said, I know you don't like Elon. I don't know what you got against Elon personally, but
I share that many times. Why?
Elon is a very intelligent guy. Like, he's a smart guy.
I've never knocked his intelligence. Never knocked his
He's-
intelligence.
You don't become the richest man in the world for being a
And
moron.
again, he's not the richest man in the world. How many times
Who is?
we are?
Who's the richest man?
There's another guy even
What's his name? What is
and
his
I told
name?
I cannot pronounce his name
The
every
Mexican
time.
dude?
No,
The
he's in
communications
Dubai.
giant?
He's in Dubai.
What? He's a sultan?
Yeah, no, yes, he's
That's what's his name? The Sultan of Barinia? No, not the Sultan.
No,
of
no, no,
Barinia.
no. That's the family. We are talking about individually. It's gonna come from even our partners.
He's in oil.
Huh?
He's in oil. Yeah, he's
correct.
in oil.
Yeah.
Is the richest man in the world according to Forbes 359.5? Jesus. So that means he's worth more than what's his name now. Well, I told you that they said they're gonna
And
project
it
what's his
just
name
fell.
to be a trillion.
Just fell.
Who that?
Over
Elon.
500
He
billion.
was 500. He was
Fell
523.
140.
Yeah, and he's
What's
gonna
Bezos
keep on
worth? 'Cause
falling.
I know they said they projected Bezos to be
Bezos
a
is
trillionaire by
like number
2026.
Bezos would be number 2 if once Elon come down. He's gonna
Okay.
be number 2.
All right.
And then,
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about he's a what do you call it? He's an
Facebook.
oil guy. He's a salt.
Yeah, I
I know you're talking
that's what I'm telling him. But
He's not the richest guy
so
in the world. He's not.
Google is also biased of
Google's very biased.
yeah, of what they share with you.
gotta
You
get
go and you
DuckDuckGo.
type out the richest man.
DuckDuckGo is more.
Yes, they're more accurate.
Yeah.
You go and you
That-
type in.
what?
DuckDuckGo.
Is a search engine as
DuckDuckGo,
well.
that's a
They're
search
more
engine.
unbiased
They're
than
unbiased.
Google. Google will tell you this crap because they are part of the US. Right? So just like when Trump talking about, listen, the Gulf of Mexico is no longer Gulf of Mexico. Google went and changed that on their map structure. And Mexico said,
False,
they changed
false.
it back because he went and looked. This was last week with this
false.
country.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
went and didn't that happen? Didn't that happen?
That did happen. But
Exactly. So I
remember-
don't know what rock he's living
That
under.
was
Remember
not
the
on
reason-
Google. That was,
Remember
Where
the
was it
reason-
then?
wasn't on
What
Google.
you think Mexico was trying to sue Google?
Yeah.
They went after them, and that's why they changed it back.
But you know why Mexico went so hard?
Yeah, I don't
about
know where
changing
you
it?
living, bro. I think
You know
you're on
why-
the moon.
Do you know why Mexico changed so hard? Because Mexico knows that that's a loophole. Why do you think he's going so hard at the cartels now in Mexico? You know why, right? Because they run Mexico. They own the Gulf.
I mean, yeah, that
And that's his get back because he wanted to change it to Gulf of America as a loophole so we can start drilling. Because this way that what do you call it? that sort of circumvents whatever agreement that they had, right, as far as North American Free Trade Agreement goes. If you would have named the Gulf of America as opposed to Gulf of Mexico, that means since we're part of America, since we are America, we're part of the Americas because we're North America. Then that would have been the loophole to go around it.
and in conjunction that way, he have the audacity. He's trying to also bring in Canada as the 51st state.
I think
mean-
he was just doing. I think he's trolling on that. He's not really.
It is foolishness.
Huh?
The fact that this just come out of his mind and he just thought process these things
just focus
and
on the
verbally.
You do realize he's like the white 50 Cent. Half of the shit that he says, he's trolling people. You know that, right? I hope you know that. That's another reason why he entertains me. Because I know when he's trolling people.
I
You
know
gotta
when he
remember-
trolling. I
like
know when
said-
he trolls
yeah,
at
so
times.
something like that, he's trolling. He's trolling. There's no
But,
way
I mean-
Canada's going to become the 51st state.
This should not come out of your mouth
Why
as
not?
a president.
Why not?
It shouldn't. I mean, there are
You
certain
don't have a
things.
sense of humor?
What?
I mean, what's his name used to crack jokes all the time?
Who?
Barack Obama. All the time.
Barack always
But
crazy.
look at his jokes when he cracked them. You
Or
go.
listen.
You know, I'm really mad at him because I voted
It's
for
not
Barack.
his laugh.
I voted for Barack twice, 2008, 2012.
And
Matter
the
of fact, that was
same-
the last time I voted. And to be honest, he G'd us.
And the same thing what I share with my brother here too.
Jesus.
As
Yeah.
much as I voted for Barack, he did a lot of foolishness too. A lot of foolishness.
He
Yeah,
G'd
you're
us.
talking about after the fact.
No, he's not after the
Sometimes.
fact. I mean, we didn't have the show when he was in presidency, right?
You
No,
didn't have what?
we didn't have the show when he was when he had the presidency.
The
no,
show?
no, our show
podcast
didn't
was-
exist.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, yes, I didn't talk about it. And then the time when we hear talk now and then around,
I found out about that.
little bits and pieces.
That Hawaiian birth certificate is fake. It's forced.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that's so
Different
so
topic for
You're going with your Trump. Different topic. Different.
And he picked up and the Obama name, even though that's his birth name, he did not start using that name until he became an adult.
I
The
think-
name he was using was Sotoro.
I think
because it's
Kay
Lolo Sotoro
Kay
Steps.
probably would love him. Conspiracy thing.
I'm not a
So
conspiracy
check this
theorist.
out, right? So
Conspiracy theorist been 37-0 the last 4 years, Papa.
Tesla is not a profitable company, right?
All right.
And people invest a lot of money in Tesla. When they invest money in Tesla, you know why they invest in Tesla?
And
Because
enlighten me.
of Elon intellectual property, right?
Mhm.
Because of the guy brain. So when you have someone like Elon advising the president, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You realize?
Remember, he
hold
builds
on.
rockets for NASA. He's been had clearance.
Again, from day one, I never
Reusable rockets.
bashed this guy intellect, nor his intelligence. He's a very smart guy.
No, you said the guy's
But
a
you-
moron.
but
No,
you
he's
feel-
a moron in the context. In the
Do
context
you
of
feel he's-
how he's leading.
Do you feel he's up to something nefarious?
I'm gonna paint out something quickly for you.
Mhm.
The government was giving Verizon a contract for electronic deployment and revamping of the entire U.S.
Okay.
Somebody went and mentioned and pushing the government where they cancel the contract with Verizon.
All right.
And guess who they want to introduce the contract to?
Elon.
I mean, that's how business works.
And that's
You pay
again,
people to-
that is bias again. You
to
can't. This
lobby.
is why you cannot have
That's
business
how
people run because no.
Politics, business, that's how it works.
How is it? So what about
so.
that company that
Well, I mean, I
have
think
that
we-
have other people to take care of?
Almost like, That's
I mean,
Look at this. See that?
that's a conflict of interest.
Look at that.
yes.
Reusable rocket. That's smart, bro.
Again,
They've
you
been doing this for years and they have never thought about a reusable rocket. It goes up, comes down, boom. That's
Mike,
it. They waste
okay.
billions of dollars.
let's clarify
The
this
rocket
with the public,
goes up,
and it comes down.
it comes back down. You're able to use it again.
Okay.
You know how much money that
So
you save?
let me
It's
ask
like a
you a
lithium
question.
battery.
Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question on the show. When I ever said
You ever
that
hear people say, "Oh, it's not rocket science. It's not like it's rocket."
That's exactly what it is. It's rocket
It's
science.
rocket science.
when you ever heard me or you hear me say anything pertaining to Elon Musk that he's
Say
not,
Elon is a moron.
he's a moron in the conjunction or in the context of how he's operating, not his intellect or his intelligence.
That's
he's
how
a very
intelligent
smart.
people
So you feel-
operate.
So you feel he's
No.
tactless.
He's tactless, right? He don't have no tactfulness about him. It's just like again, he following in the footsteps of Trump. They probably both because he has this little sign what he started doing, hailing Hitler.
Yeah.
Stop
There's
the
a,
nonsense,
Nah, he
man.
didn't. Come
Stop
on.
that.
Nah, he didn't
Stop
do that.
that.
He did
Stop
that.
that. Stop
What you
that.
think the Hitler
Stop
did?
that.
Come on, really?
To be honest, even if he did, I think he did that. To
He
fuck-
did that
to
on
troll
the on the
people,
on.
too.
He did
I
it.
saw it at the
whether-
State of the Union.
whether-
I watched
Stop
that.
Exactly.
At the inauguration.
So this
Stop
one
it.
over here, telling me
Nonsense, nonsense.
so he didn't do it.
So when you're leaving and I do this, still, what's that?
What?
I'm doing the sign of Hail Hitler.
That's what you pretty much instigated.
Stop it, man.
He don't have no rationality.
So let me ask you something, then, Mike. So how do you think things would have went if it went the other way?
In what sense?
If the fake Yachty woman would have won?
If
What
the
do you-
who?
if the fake Yachty woman would have won the presidency,
Kamala. Nobody likes
the
Kamala.
fake
The
Yachty
fa-
woman,
oh, now I
fake
get that.
Yachty
woman.
I pick it up.
Kamala.
if she was
what do you think would happen?
number one,
right
it
now?
wasn't gonna happen because the country did not ready for a female president. I
So
said
why
it
did
here.
you vote for her then?
I still vote for it because whoever option I have, which is like
Do not vote. You don't have to vote.
You didn't have to vote.
Powell.
You didn't
Powell,
have to vote.
right? I mean, yeah, I
Did you
didn't
get
have
a dollar
to vote.
when you voted.
I didn't have to vote, yes, but I
Okay.
still utilized my power.
Let's put
I
it this
mean,
way:
I voted
if
for
Candace
Trump.
Owens, if Candace Owens or Tulsi Gabbard runs, I'm voting for them. Those are women.
Here's what Powell
Candice.
said. Powell said,
I like.
I love
Candice.
Candace.
Candace Owens, right?
I love
Yeah, I love her. I mean, she's blunt and direct. And one of the things I like with her is like, for instance, somebody was tackling her. I hope I don't forget what the statement I was gonna make earlier. Somebody was tackling her that she made some comment 10 years ago, and how now she maybe changed it. She's like, what the hell wrong with you? If I made my comment 10 years ago, apparently in that time frame.
She
I
acquired more
believe
knowledge.
at the point in time what I believe. Now, getting older and stuff like that, if I recant, it's because I realized that that statement probably wasn't in line with today's time.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't get the point. So the issue is that people were saying that, oh, she flippy floppy. She's not consistent. She's on and off and on. But she is a more bold, direct. She's more bold and direct and clear than anybody else.
Yeah,
What I've seen.
that's why I like listening to her, because she's very. I don't feel she's biased at all.
I don't think she's.
She's
I mean,
a lady that speaks.
I like
facts.
Candice, but Candice is biased.
You think?
Yeah, Candice. Is
I think she's biased against nonsense, and I have no problem with people being
That's the
biased
correct
against
form.
nonsense.
She's
Candice
biased
is true.
against
Because I'm biased
nonsense.
against nonsense.
Yes.
I'm not for the. I'm not
That
for
is the correct
nonsense.
form.
I'm not for nonsense.
I wanted to say that because I did say she's not biased, but when I draw back, I want to say she's not biased. She's biased against nonsense.
Yeah. I'm saying when I listen to her, like you can tell, like she's being factual. She's being factual. I don't feel
Candice
she's,
is all for this administration.
Oh yeah, she loved Trumps. She loved the administration.
So
Maybe not in particular she loved Trump himself, but she liked the administration.
Yeah, she likes the
She liked the
administration,
administration. And there are times she talk against about Trump.
Yeah,
There
there's
are many
certain
times
things she doesn't agree with.
she don't agree with. And it's the same thing I sit here and it's the same thing. There's a lot of stuff and certain things I don't agree with. I even sit here in our
You
last show.
dislike everything about you.
I don't dislike because if I dislike it, there was
So
nothing.
What do you like about you?
I just share with you the stuff what he implemented pertaining to the spending wasting, and that's one of the core of this economy. That's the core of society. We want to have money in our pocket.
So let me ask you a
we
question.
want to
right?
save money,
If
and he's helping
if there was
doing
an
that.
account, right, a government account, and Justin is head of this department, sit here and study the movement of the water, right, when the table moves or shakes. Just sit here and study that. Does that make sense to you?
To sit there and study it.
Yeah.
If but is what the point of why they studying why the water moves
When the table shakes?
when the table shakes? There's something they're trying to answer or trying to clarify that may be
fuse the
in
common
limbo
sense
for the
sometimes.
last 10, 20 years. I don't know. I can't. To you, it may not make any
They
sense.
actually had a department like that where they study the movement of fish in a pond.
No, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. And
No,
they're
well, if
spending
you're
like
using that, if you,
$60 million a year on that.
if I would see,
$60 million
I
of
would see this
taxpayers'
more
money.
logical than studying fish.
Oh.
Sitting here watching the water move because of the table. Now they're trying to probably define gravity and understand the capacity and how the elements function. Yes, maybe that. But at the same
For
time,
how long?
go on, really?
For how long?
How long you think science go and study for? Like, for
This is
instance,
not science. This is nonsense, man. This is
I
nonsense.
can't help this guy. I can't help him. I really
love
can't.
What Elon is doing, you could have taken that $60 million and give to Elon, invest in his
I know.
company.
And then how?
Rocket science.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you do that, how are you gonna benefit from it? Is he Elon? I mean, is he hiring other than him hiring people for Doge, right? Other than that, is he hiring anyone for his company? He's firing them, actually, getting rid of them.
No, he lays out people, but that's business though.
That's business.
It's
Though.
business.
This guy is, according to you, he's the richest man in the world. What layoff you need to do?
All right, so
What
when
you-
Because
someone is-
people go against him and don't eat. Because people, when he first bought out Twitter,
Yeah.
there's a lot of developers and employees was talking that there are certain things he do they don't like. He's like, get rid of your ass.
Yeah.
I
You're
mean,
out of
you're
here.
not-
Because
Mike,
you're not on the same page.
Mike.
Yeah, but I'm
Right.
saying they're sharing their opinion.
Right.
I mean, just like how we sit and we share opinion. Okay, you don't like this, you don't like it. But doesn't mean that you're gonna
Let me
not
ask you a
me.
question. You run your own business,
But it's a
right?
business. Look, first of all, the way he bought Twitter was brilliant. You know he didn't use
He
no money
almost
to buy
bankrupt
Twitter.
himself.
Money, right?
He almost
bought no
bankrupt
money.
himself. This
No, but-
stupid.
No, he didn't bankrupt
He
himself.
said he
Remember,
almost
he
bankrupt
used his
himself.
stock as leverage, and they gave him the loan on that. But
And
know
you
what happens?
cannot tax that.
And you can't
because-
tax that. There's no
He's
interest on
brilliant.
debt. There's no tax on debt.
He's brilliant
I
to
thought
certain
that was
things.
brilliant.
As I said, yes, I agree. It was a brilliant
And look,
move. he
Look, he
did.
cut off 80% of their staff, and Twitter's actually working a lot more. They're actually profitable now than what they were before. And he cut 80% of the staff.
Use
It's being
unrealized
inefficient-
gain
it's
to
being an
purchase
efficiency
a
expert.
company, and you cannot tax unrealized
Like,
gains.
Mike, what business do you? Because you say you're a business owner, correct?
Yeah, I have a
What
film
kind
production company and a computer firm.
a film production company and
Yeah.
a computer firm. Okay, in the film production company, right? Obviously, I'm in independent filming. It's a very costly.
Correct.
It's a costly endeavor. Okay. You want to save as much money as you can.
Correct.
Okay. Say for instance,
Spend less and probably get
say
more.
for instance, if you have a director, say if you have a film director or your film production company, you use a particular director.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's excellent at what he does. Excellent at what he does. The man's a genius.
Mm-hmm.
But every idea that you come to him with, you being the owner,
Mm-hmm.
that means that you're signing his check, you're paying him.
Correct.
He's disagreeing with you every single time. Is anything getting done that is counterproductive? No matter how brilliant he is, that is counterproductive to your company.
Now, how to answer this, I would say, yes, I would start to look into it where, is this guy really doing anything or is he doing everything on its own term instead of I'm sharing with him? No, does it mean that because I share something with you and I'm an owner that I'm right? No.
No, you're not, but you
Yes.
you have to make them understand that there is a hierarchy. You are the employer.
So,
Correct.
Listen what he just stated. He said every single idea that you suggest,
He's knocking
he
it down.
disagrees with you.
Right, and
Mind
that's
you,
what
the
I was
ideas you're
tackling.
giving them- You're giving them ideas in the name of efficiency. You're giving them ideas in the name of profitability. You understand? Because obviously you're in business to make money.
Right. I mean, I would start a question and probably eventually maybe firing him based on that. I mean,
But a question eventually that takes time. Time costs money. As opposed to just firing his ass and then getting
Someone else,
to do the
right.
same thing as you.
mhm.
You understand? That's the efficiency. That's the unfortunately efficiency isn't supposed to be nice. It's not supposed to be.
Agreed.
It's
Agreed.
It's not. There's no room. There's what's the word? What's the word for this? There's no room for in business. There's no room for error. There's no room for diplomacy. There's no room for what the hell's the word? Like you're not donating time. This isn't a donation. This isn't a this isn't a non-for-profit. You're in it for profit. You have bills to pay. You have a home to take care of. You have
And
cars to pay off. You have equipment to pay
Listen,
off.
you don't have to go into details with him because he understands what
Yeah.
you're saying. It's a
No, but that's where the cold-heartedness comes in. I'm just basically trying to relay it to where you can understand where Elon's coming from, but from a way bigger scale.
and it's a publicly traded company. So you have investors. You have investors who want to see a return, right?
yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, everything.
Business always been cutthroat. You know that.
I mean,
Such
business
things-
always in the
Always.
corporate world, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's all. But at the same time, as I said, there are different levels of principles on how you operate, even within business itself.
Yeah.
And yes, you have some people, some businessmen successful. Trump, number one. Trump
Sometimes principles are
is off. And number two is that he did a lot of cutthroat and a lot of cut around. This is why some of these legal jobber coming back at him after all these years because of stuff what he's doing. Now, did they do it because they just say, oh, you know what? No, they do it because of his power and where he rises and his mouth.
Yes.
I think most of these things would just probably be hush and just push on the carpet, to be honest with you, if he was in a certain position still and keeping his mouth shut.
Yeah.
And not operating like he's going into a dictatorship level of just in anything.
You have to get your feelings out of it.
I don't think
That's
he's a
yeah,
I
that's
don't-
how
like
you
you saying that
feel.
about him, that he's a
Yeah,
dictator, he's
I
an
don't
autocrat.
feel that way.
They call him,
But
they
people
feel like
say
he's trying to create an
racist,
autocracy.
He's a dictator. I don't.
He's
feel that way. I
racist.
don't
He's
see that.
racist. He called the entire 80 garbage. They call it dog shit or
Shithole country?
shithole.
It is.
Wait,
Really,
which
Mike?
country was this again?
This was Haiti. And
Oh,
he
he called it a
literally, because
shithole
they caught it. He wasn't officially recording, but somebody was recording secretly.
called it
And when
shithole country.
when they exposed him, he was trying to backpedal on it, but it was too late because it's already out. Just like that when he called that senator in when he lost the election and telling them that make sure that you make this a fake counting, that you're gonna find every avenue you can find to reverse this thing. They caught him on tape with that. He did not know that he was recorded, and they exposed it. But I mean, again, how he just came in, get hyper, and die out.
Yeah.
Fake
But at the same
news,
time,
AI.
it's AI, right?
No, he probably did say it. I wouldn't put it past him.
Hey, listen.
But like I said, we're not. Like I tell him, this isn't a popularity. This isn't a popularity contest. Unfortunately, he's what's what's necessary. What happened?
No, we're gonna cut it that thing.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. So you were saying?
No, I'm saying like I don't agree. Look, like going back to Elon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust Elon for shit.
Neither do I.
But I feel But I feel.
Do you?
But I feel what he's doing
Who do
is
you
necessary.
trust?
He has something
Only
else. Trust me.
God you trust, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Only God you trust.
No, I
right?
have to trust into some type of mankind, but not him.
To an extent, right?
I don't
Same
trust him
thing
for
with
anything. I know
Elon.
he's up to something. What is it? I
No
haven't
good.
figured out.
It's
But
gonna
for the
come.
time being, what he's doing, I love it because it needs to be done.
It needs to be done.
Because
Yes.
he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy chasing after the other bad guys. Now, trust me, it's time to come. I do believe in karma. Karmic retribution will come if he's doing something dirt. Maybe he's not. To be honest with Trump, I think Trump is almost 80 years old. To be honest, I think Trump is trying to redeem himself from all the bad that he's done in his life. I think he wants to leave some sort of legacy in a positive light.
But not the path he's taking. That's not going to happen.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
The path what he's taking based on, I mean, number one, everything's, for instance, Trump, if you and I sit here, Mike will share something with me, right? And I would say, you know what, I don't really like that. I don't agree with it. You know,
Yeah.
Mike will say, okay, that's your opinion. And that's fair enough.
Yeah, and you guys
You
respectfully
try to
agree
do
disagree.
stuff like that to Trump is that if he's in power to get rid of you, you're gone. Because he doesn't take
No,
opinions
you-
or suggestions or recommendations
You
or
don't
even
know that. You don't know that.
Oh my god.
But you also got to realize, dude, a lot of the things that Trump does. Have you guys read 48 Laws of Power?
I read portion of it, yeah.
Okay, I've read the whole book. I've read that book in and out. A lot of things that he does are laws of power. You got to remember, he's in the business of power. He's in the business of control. So a lot of those things that he does, like when he's not agreeing with you, he's trained to do that. He's conditioned to do that. The man went to meet his father's obviously. I'm not sure if you guys. His father was 3 times as worse as he was, except that his father. Was
And that's what he's trying to follow.
Fred Trump. He's not trying to fight Fred Trump because Fred Trump was Fred Trump. He was a third. He was a what do you call it?
Mason?
A Third Reich, a Nazi. A Nazi sympathist. A Nazi sympathizer. His father was. His father was known. Fred Trump was known.
We're not gonna
in
say
Brooklyn.
that.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that Trump is though. Trump is a little. Remember, that's why. Remember, Fred Trump wanted Trump to take over his business. Trump didn't want to be in Brooklyn and Queens.
Yeah, he wanted
Trump
to do
went
his
Manhattan.
own.
That's why he got into real estate in Manhattan. He comes from a real estate family. He grew up in what do you call it? He grew up in over there in Jamaica Estates, one of the biggest houses in Jamaica Estates, where St. John's College is at. That's where he's from.
Oh yeah, down by
In Queens, off of Parsons.
yeah, I
off
can't
the
remember the
Central
area,
Park.
sir.
Right
I
there,
know
where
you
you
were
get
talking
Turnpike.
about
Oh,
right
there.
off.
He didn't want to stay in Brooklyn and Queens. This is why he branched off. So I'm like, yeah, obviously, but a lot of things. Remember, his father was a very, very tough man. This is where he learned. He sent him off to military academy when he was 14 years old. These are the things that you learn. See, Trump moves like a general. He doesn't necessarily, even though he's a businessman, those things that he does, that's also like a lot. He moves like a general. And unfortunately, sometimes, especially in the time that we're in right now, somebody like that is necessary. Yeah, he does come off. It
A
comes off a
strong
little
leader. That's what we need.
dictatorish.
Yeah.
Remember, strong men create good times.
You hear what he
Weak
said
men
too?
create hard times.
You see what he said too? He said when I come in office, they specifically, with his own network, I would call it his own network because Fox is also, hardcore bias. All networks are biased, but
Oh, yeah,
they're
they're
like
right-wing. You can't-
hardcore
Yeah.
bias.
Well, remember, Fox has always been right wing. NBC, ABC, CNN, they've always been basically on the left.
Right.
And they have this little balance with it, but Fox, there's no balance in it. They just straight
No,
up
they're big
hardcore.
time right
What,
wing.
what
Yeah.
about the
They're
garage?
straight up, huh?
What about the garage?
No, the garage is straight up unbiased. We speak it like it is. We
Well,
tell
so
it like
far
it
from
is.
what I've seen in the garage, this side is unbiased. This side has been showing some bias there, sir.
One side is
No,
far
the
left,
garage
but
is-
one
no,
side
the
is
garage
far
is
right.
unbiased.
One side is for the left and one side is for the right.
Yeah, but to be honest, but you guys look. Obviously, you guys are friends. You guys respect. It's not like you guys get into these heated arguments where you're spitting on each other and everything like that. And even
No,
if
I
you
mean,
do,
disagreeing is normal.
It's normal.
We
It's
disagree.
normal.
Exactly.
But
We
that's what
disagree a
men
lot.
do. That's
Yeah.
what adults do.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I think also, like I was telling him earlier, a lot of this has to do. A lot of people have to get out their feelings. And they have to be objective.
Tell him again.
Well,
They
I
have
don't
to be
allow my
objective.
intellect to
All
collide with my
Travis.
emotions. I try to keep them separate because the moment you do, this is when you start operating in feelings.
Yeah,
Exactly. No, I'm like this. I've noticed certain things that you say that you don't like, but what it is, obviously, you're a very well-read person. You're a very well-informed person. So you see what they said. The difference between a smart person and an indoctrinated person. A smart person, if they see something that goes against their beliefs, they'll actually take a minute to think about it. As opposed to an indoctrinated person, if they see something or hear something that's against their beliefs, they're gonna go against it wholeheartedly without listening to any facts. And that's what happens. Like, let's put it this way: I cannot stand shows like The View because I feel they're in their feelings. I cannot stand those shows because I say
Well,
people, what's in it? Joy Reid got canceled.
But look who is on The View.
Huh?
Look who's on The View. I leave it as that.
Who's on the view?
Who's on The View?
Joy Behar.
What's the panel? What's the
her
panel?
name?
But okay, forget
Her
about
husband got caught in a
Whoopi.
scam.
forget about the names. Look who is on the panels,
Women.
and I leave it as that.
Yo, we're not gonna say that. 'Cause
Well, I
we're not
should say-
sexist. So
No, we're not sexist. But what I'm saying is that I do realize those women on there, they're somewhat misandrous.
yeah, but I agree with you guys though. I agree with you. I don't even watch that show. Anyway.
You know what's funny? I used to watch The View when Joy Behar was funny, and when Whoopi was funny. But then when they started getting too political,
Political,
they
right,
started
right.
getting, and basically they were race baiting. I stopped watching them. I used to watch The View when I was with my mother. I'm 20 years old. Man, you've been on like 20 years. I used to watch them when they were funny. Like I thought they were lighthearted. But what it is when they got too political, and on top of that, I don't mind you getting political, but you're leaning too much to the left. On top of that, you're trying to persuade other people to think like you, and if they don't think like you, now you want to ridicule them. Now you want to ostracize them, and they do it in very subtle ways. Like if you really think of it, we're all men. We're saying we're men that provide for our families. We're men that work hard. We are heterosexual men. We're men that like women. But for some reason, all of a sudden, now we're the enemy.
That means, right.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't count.
Right.
That's not right.
Yeah, there's a lot more, but you know,
Yeah,
we're
man.
b-
So we're gonna
wrap
wrap
up,
it up.
Yes,
Yes, Justin.
I can't wait to come back.
Oh yeah, I
please,
definitely
please
want you
do.
back,
I'll make sure
Justin.
I'm gonna dress nice. You know what I'm saying, y'all? You know, he's intimidating me right now. I'm gonna have to put on a suit.
It's a balance. Huh? It's a balance. Yeah, guys.
that was-
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any you want to ask
yeah,
Justin
any
any
closing-
closing remarks
For
for the viewers?
the viewers, well, for one, I thought this was a very healthy conversation. Like I said, for the viewers, I stress: be objective, don't be subjective. You don't have to like somebody in order to agree with them. This isn't a
Yeah.
popularity contest. Like I said, this is the business of our country. Well, business of our corporation. This will affect. There's 350 million people in this country. This affects every single one of us. It doesn't matter whether you make $50,000 a year or $50 million a year. Like Mike knows, I work in one of the most richest towns in the country, Bronxville. I speak to these people. I speak to everybody. When people tell me, these are Fortune 500 CEOs, $5-10 million a year. When they're telling me these people don't know how to move around money, and they're saying that there's an issue that they even got to get up out of here, that's a problem. So it affects everybody. This is a money thing. This isn't a race thing. This isn't a sex thing. This is a money thing. This is an economic thing, and we have to get back right. We really have to. The United States, even though we are a melting pot, we need to isolate ourselves and get right, and then worry about what else is going on outside of this country.
Indeed, folks. My piece is just try to stay focused. Just try to stay abreast with today's issues, what's going on. Do your part, best to your knowledge. Not saying that to break rules or regulation, but do everything in possibly study, understand, observe what's going on, and see where you can contribute towards our economy, towards our politician, towards our leadership, towards the overall govern this country, because everyone is a part of this. It's not just Trump, it's not just Elon, it's not just Biden. Everyone is a part of this, and we have to solve this together. So that's one of my encouragement, to sit and listen, observe, listen to news. Yes, the news can be biased at times, but there are different methods where you can use to get information.
Listen to the garage.
Listen to the garage.
Unbiased.
Unbiased. Listen to the garage. Do we know? Turn it over to Mike.
Yeah. Justin, thank you for coming, man. We
Of
appreciate
course, thank you
it.
for having me. I had a great
Indeed.
time, man.
Yeah.
I love conversations like this. I don't get to
Yeah.
have conversations like this with a lot of people.
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna do this.
without getting into arguments
Yeah.
with people.
We're gonna do this a lot more.
Awesome.
Please, guys, share, like,
And subscribe.
subscribe to our channel. Until next time, thank you.
Peace out.